Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Canada has a secret vault full of maple syrup. Okay, so I am planning a heist. I'm gonna steal that maple syrup. Who doesn't love maple syrup? I do not understand the concept of they have a secret vault filled with maple syrup. Okay, well yeah, I would definitely steal this. But I wonder if it's not an actual thing. This is a metaphor for something else. I don't know. I'm very curious. Let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Real maple syrup is a special treat. It's sweet with notes of caramel, and it's the perfect consistency for fluffy pancakes. To be clear, I'm not talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking...
The thing that you get at most supermarkets, it's I think probably it's a mix between maple flavored syrup and probably a lot of sugar and yeah, just sugar I would assume, but not the real thing.
About this. In Canada, it's called liquid gold, and that's not just because of its amber hue. Pure maple syrup is 28 times more expensive than crude oil.
Oh.
1 liter of...
I thought it was more expensive than the syrupy concoctions that I was talking about earlier. But okay, it's more expensive than oil. Okay, that's crazy.
The sweet stuff is worth about 12.
I'm wondering if it's not that weird just because oil, you can get oil in a lot of different countries. But I think the maple syrup, I think you can only get that in Canada and in some parts of the US. I don't think you can get maple syrup, good quality and real maple syrup. I don't think you can get that anywhere else.
12 Canadian dollars and 13 cents. Maple syrup is such a valuable commodity that a group of Canadian producers stockpiles it in their global strategic maple syrup reserve in Quebec.
They have reserves as in oil reserves or gold reserves as in the countries have those. That's crazy. Although I can't maybe not that crazy if I think about the price. No, it's more expensive, so it makes all the sense in the world.
Treasure trove contains over 94,000 barrels of liquid gold, which is worth over $130 million. And now,
that's a lot of money.
Like the most secure banks in the world. So, how do you think a group of men stole 3,000 tons of maple syrup from the reserve in 2012?
Oh my god, okay, so they actually did it. They did this really. I was joking earlier. No, I didn't thought people were actually doing this. There was a heist, a real heist that happened. Again, maybe they were doing this because, oh, it's a joke. I love maple syrup. I'm going to do a heist. No, they did it obviously because it's expensive. We're gonna be rich. But yeah, and you can actually this would be the perfect thing. It's something. It's a commodity that's you can sell this anywhere, and people are not going to be questioning. Okay, where did you get this maple syrup?
Did they siphon it off through an underground tunnel? Did they replace the syrup with water? Or did they use a plan inspired
they replaced it with water, right?
Movies?
That's what I would think.
Let's dig into the sticky history of this liquid gold. You can tap most maple trees, but the sweetest and most popular tree for syrup is the sugar maple, or Acer saccharum. These trees are ancient giants. Some are over 300 years old and can be as tall as 35 meters.
Wow.
Their sap contains 2 to 3% sugar, which is what makes maple syrups.
They're literally siphoning the thing. You actually need to literally drill the tree to extract the maple syrup. I had no idea.
So delicious and caloric. But unlike sugar, maple syrup has a hefty dose of minerals and 24 antioxidants. So what you're saying is take it like...
What's up with all these people drinking maple syrup as it was liquor? Both things are weird, but yeah, do not drink this as it was water.
Medicine, roger that. Just kidding. Maple trees are so embedded in Canada's national identity that its flag carries a maple leaf. But its roots go even deeper. Indigenous people collected maple syrup centuries before European settlers got a taste.
Really?
The Haudenosaunee used sap to cook venison. This inspired the maple-cured...
We are still doing this in this day and age. We're doing glazed meat, so, they were into something.
Meats we still eat today. And the initial...
Oh my god, yes! Oh, the hams, yeah, what people do with the hams. Yes, oh my god.
Nabe,
maple glazed ham, it comes from there?
Preserved food in maple sap, keeping food throughout the long winters. Indigenous people taught French settlers to tap maples and gather syrup.
Oh, so they were the ones that started this whole thing.
Jacques Cartier was the first settler to mention maple syrup in 1557, but it wasn't until the late 1700s that European settlers began to produce this treat.
It's older than I thought. I thought this was a newer development.
Today, most maple syrup comes from a vast hardwood forest that spans from the Midwestern U.S. up into eastern Canada.
Yeah.
This region is called, guess what it's called? The
What?
Maple Belt. And 92% of
Like the Bible Belt? Okay, this is really funny.
Canada's maple farms are in Quebec. So, how would you go about making maple syrup? First, you need to know when the time is right. Sugar settles in the sap during winter, and it begins to flow with the first spring thaw. When the temperatures reach
Isn't that liquidy? I thought sap would be more sticky.
above 0 degrees Celsius during the day, but the nights are still frosty,
Oh,
you know
okay,
that
when
the
it's
sugar
cold.
maple is ready. This is called the tapping season, but your work is just starting. The sap is still 98% water by weight,
Yeah.
so you take the sap to a sugar house. Here, the raw sap gets boiled down until it becomes
Oh,
the sticky,
like a
sugary
caramel.
stuff we all love, and we do love it. At this point, the syrup is 33% water and 67% sugar. Delicious. Some of that maple syrup might end up in the Global Strategic Maple Syrup Reserve. This brings us to the final chapter of our
reserve.
story, the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. While
Even the name, I think, would be perfect for a film. The Great Maple Syrup, the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. This sounds great.
it sounds like something from a movie, the
Yes.
heist was pretty simple. The men in charge of the plant rented space in a warehouse where the syrup is stockpiled. This way they could go to and from the space without raising suspicion. Working between midnight and dawn, the thieves
I think, yeah, I mean, in retrospect, probably would be, oh my god, how did these people did not notice? But yeah, I think you wouldn't be suspicious just because of the silliness of it all. Who's thinking of stealing maple syrup? No one. So I guess, yes, of course. Yeah, you know that. But obviously people working there were not thinking much of this. It was probably, yeah, whatever. Who's stealing this? No one.
loaded tractor trailers full of stolen barrels of syrup. They took them to a sugar shack, emptied the syrup, and replaced it with
water.
They
Of
returned
course.
the worthless barrels to their places at the reserve. During the annual inventory check, someone realized the reserve had been robbed.
It's
But
water.
the thieves did not get away with it, and police
No?
arrested 25 men. So if
Oh.
you guessed answer number 2,
Okay, this, I thought it was a smaller heist. Not that 25 people were involved. That seems a lot. What was the final cut? I'm so curious how much they actually ended. Well, nothing. They ended up in jail. But would love to know how much was the cut, how much they were supposed to earn. Because I think, well, that's a lot of people. The cost has to be divided. Well, not the cost. The actual earnings have to be divided by quite a lot.
you were correct. You're the most maple syrupiest, if that's a thing. Next time you make yourself a big breakfast, why not spring for some pure maple syrup? It tastes great on bacon. Speaking of
It's great and
bacon,
everything.
did you know that it hasn't always been a breakfast food? Learn the truth about bacon in another episode of Origins of Food.
Okay, this was incredibly funny. At the same time, very informative. I would have never thought the whole thing was real. Yes, of course, there's a Canadian maple syrup heist. What do you mean? That sounds crazy. That doesn't sound real. I think it's really funny, but at the same time, it's not really funny. Obviously, yes, there's nothing funny about crime, but I think the whole thing about them stealing something that it's so ubiquitous, but no, it's actually really expensive. Once you know the logic, because it would be like, oh, it's stealing candy. No, you would steal, it seems silly, oh, who's gonna steal candy? But no, once you know the actual price, no, it's because it's really expensive. It's called liquid gold. It's, oh, okay, I get it, why. It's stored in vaults, and they have a global reserve. It's okay, it's a whole thing. I get it, yes, of course, it's very expensive. I had no idea it was that expensive. The actual maple syrup, the original, not the original, the real maple syrup, not the sugary ones that you get at a supermarket, but the real ones. Of course, they're more expensive, and yes, you will know the difference because they don't. They usually, the real maple syrup usually comes in glass bottles. The fake ones, they call in plastic, but they come in plastic bottles, and it's different brands. Whatever, you will know. And yes, it's more expensive. And I was thinking, yeah, of course, real maple syrup is it's more expensive than the other things because the others are just sugary things, and they're not the actual maple syrup. That I was not expecting it to be, oh, is this expensive? I was not expecting it. I was, okay, maple syrup is great. But I had no idea it was just such a hot commodity. I would have never thought of this. Apparently, yes, it is. And people were trying to take advantage of this. I think it sounds like a great plan in theory. Now that I'm not condoning this, but I I think it's really funny just because it seems like a perfect crime, I think, in theory, again, in paper, because you're not stealing anything at a museum. I think would be more, we're stealing ancient jewels. Yeah, that's not going to be a thing because people, I think, with recognizable things and recognizable works of art, paintings, jewels, and recognizable things in general. Once I did, I think I would think that's the easy part. The easy part is to actually get and steal the actual object. What am I going to do with this? Because if I can't sell this, because again, it's so incredibly recognizable that people are going to know, oh, you're the one who stole this. So who am I going to sell this to? It's not really a good. I know probably there's things going behind the scenes, and probably that's why those heists still continue to happen. That would be my logic. But something like this, and gold, for instance, yeah, you can steal gold, but I think, yeah, gold as in a bar of gold from. Can you steal this? Have there ever been, I don't really know, has there ever been occasions in which there's the gold heist and someone has broken into the walls of a country or I don't know, a company and stolen the gold? I would assume that's really not a thing, because again, what am I gonna do with this bar of gold? I think they probably have numbers just as bills, so I can't actually sell this because it has a code, and they'll know it's this code we're looking at, we know that you stole this from God knows who. So I don't think that's a good crime. Again, this is all in theory. It's not really good, but something like this, I think, this is actually great. It seems like a great crime because yes, you're stealing the maple and it's maple, so you can probably sell this. I would think it would be easier to sell just because it's not tied to anything, so no one's going to be asking a lot of questions. You can probably just say, yeah, I have a company that extracts maple syrup, or maybe I do it my own. I don't know about the whole how it works. Yes, I know actually how it is. Apparently, I understand that. I just learned it, but I don't really know the logistics behind this. Are there several companies? Can you just go and do this? Can I just buy my maple farm, and start doing this? I don't know. Obviously you will need the permission, but can you feasibly do this? And yes, I'll do my own maple syrup, and I'll extract it myself, and I'll just sell it to in a farmer's market. I'll sell it to people. I don't know. I'm thinking low scale, not obviously huge scale. Again, we'll love to know this. I have dreams now of owning my own maple syrup farm. Well, you're not owning the maple syrup farm. You're just owning the maple farm, and I'm going to extract the maple syrup. I think I would love this. I think I would love to own one of those things. Just me learning this 5 minutes ago, and I'm like, you know what? I think it would be good. I think it sounds like a great job to have. Probably a little hard, not obviously the owning part, but I think the working of obviously you have to maintain your tree. I don't know about the care. I don't know if it's a finicky tree or if you just leave it be and the tree will thrive. I have no idea. But I think the actual extraction, I think it looks a little, it doesn't look like the easiest job ever, but it doesn't look that incredibly hard either. I think it's a process that obviously takes time because you have to extract it, and it's cold. Yes, of course, that's not going to be so nice. But I think the good news is you only have to do this for, a couple of weeks at the most. I think it's more. I think it would be akin to fishing. Well, I think some types of fishing, not every type of fishing, but some kind of fishing in which you kind of work for several weeks out of the year or several months of the year, and then you have an easy year because I already did the recollection. Again, maybe I'm totally off about fishing. Actually, I have no idea. But I don't know. I just think it would be. I would like to know more about the maple farming, because I think I would now want to own my own farm. But the whole thing that I was thinking about, besides all of this, is what apparently comes from the indigenous people, the native people in Canada. They were the first to discover, oh, you know, this tree, the sap of this tree is good in food. Basically, it's good. It's good for preserving food. I think it was meat. The ham. That's where it comes from. So yes, they were preserving animals, and it was, oh, you know what, this is actually good. So I am wondering how exactly you come to that thought process of you're seeing the sap from the tree, and then you're oh, well, I'm gonna try it. Yeah, I'm gonna lick it and see. Well, you know what? This actually tastes good. This tastes kind of good. I don't know if the native people did the pulp processing thing. Did they boil it? I don't know if they boiled it, because it looks, again, what's also surprising to me is it looks very artisanal in a way. It doesn't look like a whole. Probably it is, and again, I'm just imagining something very hands-on, and not, oh, it's not a huge company that does this. But you can, again, I'm probably very off about this just because of the quantities. Of course, I'm not going to invest that amount of money to just, oh, I'm just going to boil my maple syrup in just one pot of water. No, of course, in just one pot. No, it's going to be this huge barrels, because obviously we have a lot of sap. But I think, yes, on the natives were, but what I'm going with this is that you can technically do this. If I find a maple tree and I extract the sap, I can just boil it in my kitchen and I'm going to have maple syrup. I think, right? It doesn't take much. That's what I'm going with this. It's not really, maybe they put other things, but I maybe not. I mean, they made it sound like, no, that's just it. You're not going to put any more chemicals or anything. That's just it. I don't really know. Probably when it's out for sale, yeah, they have to add some other things just because it's not shelf stable. But again, I have no idea. Maybe it's like honey. Honey, I think it's just one of those things that is just the honey and that's it. So maybe it is like that, but I don't know if the natives actually boiled it, because I think, yeah, they could reasonably do this. It was just boiling it. So yeah, of course they did this, but I don't know if they actually did the whole maple syrup or it was just the sap and that's what they used. But I am so curious about that thought process of, I'm seeing a tree, I'm seeing the sap, and you know what? This would be good on food. Probably we're gonna have to taste it first, but I think it would be crazy. Well, that could be poisonous, right? Can you die, or venomous? You can die. I don't know if you can actually die because I don't know if some saps are dangerous for humans, but I don't know. It seems kind of crazy to me. They were the first. Doesn't surprise me, because of course they were the first people that were there for probably hundreds of years. But it's kind of crazy. Well, what was again, what made them think, you know what, this I think would be good? And it's kind of crazy that the maple syrup industry has been going around for at least 300 years. I was expecting something a bit newer, but no, apparently it's been for hundreds of years. It's like this, the pellet situation that they used to have in Canada, probably the maple syrup. Yeah, they've been extracting maple syrup for years now. So I think, how come they're not, I don't know, selling those maple trees out of to other countries? I think maybe we can see if we can grow maple syrup in other countries. Maybe it's not feasible because the trees only grow over there, or the best ones. Obviously, you can get a maple tree, but it's not going to be the quality. It's not going to be that good and that great. And that's why Canada is the king of the maple syrup. But yes, I love it. And now I'm craving maple syrup. So thanks for the video. But that was it for today. And I'll see you next time. Bye.